If you've been stuck at a desk all day, come and flow with me, shake it off with a juicy little yoga flow. Start standing at the top of your mat. And I want your feet to be quite wide. So mine are a little wider than hip width, almost as wide as my mat. And I've got a little softness, a little bounce in the knees. And I just want you to start swaying the arms from side to side. Now, bring any energy that you have with you already into this. So if you're feeling quite lethargic, tired, more grounded than kind of flighty, you might be a little slower, a little more steady with this movement. If you're energized, feeling energetic, feeling anxious, maybe this movement is a bit quicker. So whatever you're kind of feeling, and this kind of encourages you to think about what you're feeling right now, just bring that with you. As we just start to get some movement into the body, swaying side to side, maybe a stark comparison from the rest of your day. Lovely. Maybe your hands are hitting the body each time that you sway round. Yeah, just a gentle pat, a tap. You're awake. Hopefully your heart is starting to beat a little faster. Maybe you use this opportunity to speed up a little from where you are. Lovely. Keep moving side to side. And then can you slow it down, taking your time, gradually bringing yourself all the way to stillness. And then when you do come back to stillness, feel how different it feels. You might just close your eyes for a moment to encourage yourself to feel inside. I kind of feel like little sparks are flying around the body. And then can you wiggle your feet in hip width? Take a deep inhale through the nose, lift your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, release your shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, release it out. One more time like this. Inhale, lift shoulders to ears. Exhale, release it back and down. Yeah, lovely. Now inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Really stretch on your way up, grabbing a hold of opposite elbow. Roll your shoulders back and down. Find this slight lift of the chest. And then can you exhale, can you tilt over to the right? So keeping most of your body central, just tilting the top part a little over to the right. With your next inhale, draw it up to center. Exhale, take it to the left. Inhale, draw it up to center. Release the hands all the way back behind you, either to find a clasp, or if that doesn't feel comfortable for your hands, you could grab opposite wrist or opposite elbow. And wherever you are, you're drawing your shoulders back and down and lifting your chest. So you might be holding on to those arms behind you, finding that lift through the body. Oh, rolling the shoulders back. Yeah, which should feel good if you've been sitting all day. Oh, hello shoulders. Release your hands, and can you lift your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, draw your hands down through heart center as you press your bum back and find a fold. And just dangle here for a moment, sway side to side. You're starting to feel some movement through your hips. And then bring yourself to stillness. Can you just shake your head side to side, like you're saying no to someone, and then up and down, like you're saying yes, yes please yoga, after I've been sat all day. And then bend your knees enough so that you can press your hands down to the mat. And you're going to step your right and left foot back to downward facing dog. And just use this as a stretch. So pop a bend in your knees. Press your hips high, long line from heels of hands all the way to your hips. Spread those fingers wide, gaze back towards your shins. And then inhale, shift it over into your plank. Lovely, lowering the knees down and then bending the elbows to lower the body all the way down. And just bring elbows underneath shoulders as we set up for a Sphinx pose. Fingers spread directly out in front of your elbows. You're kind of grabbing the mat or the ground with your fingertips. As you bring the ground back towards you, roll your shoulder blades like they're meeting around the back. As you gaze forward, press your hips down into the mat. And then press into your hands, lift your elbows a little and lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Now, whenever I've been sitting at a desk all day, it's my shoulders that really need opening out. So this stretch is a great one for the shoulders. Right arm out to the side into a half T shape. And your left hand is underneath your left shoulder. And I want you to lift your left toes up towards the ceiling. And then start to guide them over your right leg, and they might come to touch the floor, or your leg might stay hovering. So that right arm is out on a right angle. You might bring your head down to the mat, or it can rest on a block, on a cushion. And you're pressing into that left hand to roll that left shoulder back. And you can either stay here, you can really feel it, or I can, in the right shoulder, or you might lift your left arm all the way up, revealing my nail varnish chipped nails, and then send your arm back behind your lower back. And so you're only doing this to encourage that left shoulder back a little further. This is literally the first time I've painted my nails in years. And I've remembered why I don't. Because instantly I chip them with all of the yoga, playing around with the dog, all manner of things. Stuffing my hand in crisp packets. Nail varnish never lasts long. Take one more breath here, keep rolling that left shoulder back. And then if your left hand is wound behind your lower back, draw it down to the mat and bring yourself onto your belly. But can you keep your left toes pointing up towards the ceiling? Now, you're going to bring your right hand underneath your forehead and you're going to send your left hand back to that foot. Press foot into hand as you press the hips down into the mat. Lovely deep breath here. Yeah, finding a bit of stretch through the legs, pressing those hips down. You might get the shake that I'm feeling right now. And then how gently can you release that left foot so that it doesn't ping all the way back down? And just bring your left hand on top of your right hand, so underneath your forehead. Shift your hips side to side. Yes. Okay, now take your left hand out to that T shape. So left arm out to that half T, right hand underneath your right shoulder. Lift your right toes up towards the ceiling. Start to lift that thigh as the foot goes up and over. And you're pressing down into that right hand to roll that right shoulder back. Yeah, this head might come down to the ground, could come to a cushion, or it could stay hovering, but just just see what feels good for your head. I think some people like to keep hovering. It kind of depends on how much distance you've got. So if you have got something to place under your head, that might be the optimal. And if you did on the other side, reaching that right arm up, wrapping it back behind your lower back, rolling that right shoulder back. Take a deep breath. Exhale it out. Keep rolling that top shoulder back. If you're not feeling it at all, because it's quite ferocious, I think, this stretch, just make sure that your left hand is in line with your shoulder. You really want it to be a straight line, then I think you will start to feel it. If not, take one more breath. I love this stretch. Oh boy, Such a good thing for the shoulders. Gently, if you've got that right hand bound behind you, can you release it down to the mat? Draw yourself onto your belly. Keep the right toes up towards the ceiling. You're going to send your left hand underneath your forehead. Take that right hand back towards your foot. And as you press your head down into your hand, can you press your hips into the mat, and then can you press your foot into your hand? Finding that opposition, so the foot is drawing in towards the bum, but it's also pressing into that hand as you ground the hips. Big old stretch for the legs. Lovely. Can you take one more deep breath here? And then really gently release that foot back. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And I want you to inhale, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest to find a cobra. Gazing straight ahead, rolling shoulders back, heavying hips and toes. And then can you press all the way back to your child's pose? Bringing knees as wide as your mat, sinking your bum to your heels, feeling that big long stretch. Maybe shifting the hips from side to side as you send yourself all the way back. Take a deep breath here. Exhale it out. And then gently on your next inhale, draw yourself up to all fours. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. I'm going to finish off with some cat-cow to really press and open and find space through your spine. So as you inhale, drop belly, roll shoulders back, lift the chest. I just think that this is the perfect remedy. Exhale, press your spine up towards the ceiling. For when you've been sitting all day, just to really feel into every inch of your spine. Dropping that belly on the inhale, rolling shoulders back, lifting the chest, exhaling to send your spine all the way up to the ceiling. Drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. Exhale, press your spine up to the ceiling. One more time each way. Inhale, drop your belly, roll shoulders back, lift chest. Exhale, curl your spine up towards the ceiling. And then can you just send yourself back to sit on your heels, bringing your knees in together. Lift your arms on the inhale. Exhale, draw your hands through heart center. Quick little flow for after work to just shake it all out. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you join me again soon. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.